Yesterday, President Biden talking about efforts to lower prices for Americans, inflation. Afterwards, reporters had questions. This one from Peter Doocy of Fox News created a rather awkward moment. Take a listen.
That's a great asset. More inflation. What a stupid son of a bitch.
Panel's back. I try not to editorialize, but Quentin, someone offended the feelings of the Washington press corps. Marion Barry actually once talked about my mother, asked me if I had a mother. Asked those who covered Richard Daley in Chicago or the Rizzo administration in Philly, is this a tempest in a teapot, or did he actually score points actually across in America that has to deal with things like this and language like this each and every day?
Most likely, yeah. Let me say this first. The comment was wrong, right? Let's just lay the foundation. The comment was wrong.
Of course it was.
Yeah, and at the same time, one, a lot of people can understand the frustration of President Biden, particularly with a Fox News reporter that continues to propagate lies and misinformation and conflating things that are not true, right? So one can understand the reaching of the boiling point. And I would say, let me preemptively say, out of all the things that we heard the last president say, and people made excuse after excuse after excuse and were real apologists for him, I think this one off-color comment from President Biden can get the pass, but it definitely united a lot of Americans in a lot of different ways.
AJ, I actually worked with Peter's father. He was one of the reporters who came from Kansas City with me to Washington, and he remembers language, trust me, a lot harsher than that. The president did apologize, but your thoughts?
I was going to bring up his father as well. He comes from a legacy now. Peter Doocy is tough, and propagating lies. He was asking the president about inflation, which is in fact was affecting Americans across the country. The fact that $10 today doesn't buy what $10 2 years ago could buy. So that's an important question that needed to be asked and hadn't really been brought up so far. So at the same time, Biden is human, and if we know Biden is actually pretty well known for his hot mic, not being aware that his mic is still on and making gaffes like this. So no one is surprised that Biden did this. And Peter Doocy said that Biden called him and said, he didn't apologize, but he did say, it's a part of this. I didn't mean it, kind of keep asking tough questions. So he did take a step to reconcile, and for that, I give him credit.
I do believe, by the way, Joe Biden has cussed at me before in the past, and if he did, that's fine. I don't have as thin a skin as some in the Washington press corps do, but Crystal, I'll phrase the question to you this way. Reporters, we get paid to ask tough questions. That's what we do. And sometimes we want to get the question that causes the politician to squirm or be uncomfortable. But there's a difference between asking a question about wife beating and asking a politician, do you still beat your wife? Everybody in the press corps knows that. So your thoughts?
Well, I think, what Quentin and AJ just stated is really what it is. I mean, I think the president, made a mistake. He obviously didn't know he was, on a hot mic. He actually looked at the mic, I guess kind of, after he said it to affirm that maybe he shouldn't have said it, just looking at his nonverbal body language. But again, if we juxtapose him with Donald Trump, this is nothing. This is a drop in the water. Agree that this was wrong to say. You shouldn't say that to anyone. But again, for a reporter to barrage the president about inflation, stating that it's an asset, it really doesn't make sense. And so we've seen Peter Doocy do this over and over again in many of the press corps meetings. And so it's political banter, absolutely. But I think considering the last 4 years that we endured with a president who said whatever, who put whatever he wanted to put on Twitter, this is really, really mild. And I'm glad that the president called him. I'm glad that the president apologized. I don't think that, we can say because Trump did this, Biden can do that. That's not the right thing to say and to do. But again, he's made steps to reconcile this mea culpa.
I have played the tapes of Lyndon Johnson and Harry Truman at the National Archives. I can't play them back on the air. The reason that presidents take off with the helicopters in the background has to do with one Sam Donaldson, who could shout a question 200 yards away and make the president, in this case Ronald Reagan, have to answer. Mike Wallace was once asked of I believe it was Richard Nixon, who's the president, me or you? And Wallace responded, I believe you are, sir. Quentin, does the Washington Press Corps kind of have a thin skin here?
Sure, right? Sure. I think, of course, this moment, there are some reporters that go for the clickbait moment, right? To get the reaction of the president. And at the same time, I think the Washington Press Corps, it's a job, right? And so you are expected to be treated with professionalism and courtesy and respect, right? So I get the offense. I get the automatic offense, but I just still stand on the side of, not that it's acceptable, but that it's understandable for the response at a certain point when we're conflating ideas and those questions that can conflate ideas then thus lead to propaganda and more fodder on particular networks.
AJ, let me ask the question then this way. Do you think that Peter Doocy is a pain in the so-and-so and an SOB?
I definitely would not attack his mother in that way. But here's the thing. Peter Doocy is doing his job. He's asking questions that the other reporters are not asking. A lot of Americans want to know what Biden will do about inflation. What are you going to do about these issues? Now we might be going to war with Russia. I mean, these are questions that people want to be asked. They don't want him to see him do softballs. He's done less press conferences than any other of his predecessors at this point. The past 5 have done more press conferences at this point than he has. And he hadn't done one up until June. So the press is frustrated, and Peter Doocy is frustrated, and justifiably so. So I don't condemn Biden, of course, because he's human, but I totally understand. Peter Doocy's got to ask the tough questions, and Biden told him that on the phone. You've got to. So Biden understands that Peter Doocy is just doing his job.
My question was facetious. The bottom line is this. Watch all of the networks, including this one, and you will get a balanced view of all the questions that are being asked of the president and all the questions that are not being asked of the president, and make an informed decision on your own. That is what a free press does, whether we are loved or SOBs. AJ, Crystal, Quentin, thanks for being with us. We're going to take a break. You are watching DC Today.